Good morning, everyone. Look at this floor. Can you believe how it's come up so well? I mean, I can because I did it in the kitchen, so it's done the same thing. It's looking really, really good. Roxy approves. Isn't it good, Robbie? Yeah? Looking really, really good in here. The job now is to finish off the edges. I use the edge sander, obviously, but there are tiny little corners you can't get to, which you have to use a mouse sander for, don't you, Bobby? Don't you? So I'm gonna get the mouse sander out. She just wants to look out the window. I'm gonna get the mouse sander out and do that. I have slight concerns about the where I've used the edge sander. Now I'm looking at it in the daylight, because the thing with those is they're round and they're orbital sanders and they can kind of dig in, and I'm just looking at the entrance and it looks like I've made quite a few marks, which is not going to look good when I oil it. But also I had this worry when I did the kitchen and then I never looked at it again, so I don't think it'll matter that much. You hear her? Yeah, little happy noises. She makes those noises when she's happy. It's like purring. She's done it since the day we got her. I remember we got her delivered from our friend Hattie, who was fostering her, and I cuddled her and she was like, weren't you? Snoring while you're wide awake. She's very happy up here. She's like, yep, I can look out the window. She's clinging onto my arm. Cuddling mummy, looking out the window. So that's what I'm going to do. I have no motivation to do it, but I know I've got to do it because I've got to oil the floor, which then has to dry in time for the electrician to do the lights. So yeah, let's do this. And we officially have a brand new floor, it would seem. All sanded and ready to be oiled. Look at my face, the state of that. It's because of the mask on my face, my goodness. It's cut off my circulation. Another piece of advice that I learnt when I was doing the kitchen versus this room is you do not need to be perfect about the edges, because with the mouse sander, because the orbital sander doesn't get into the corners, so you have these kind of like moon-shaped edges. Don't be too perfect about them. Like, I can kind of see a little bit of the varnish. Maybe not on camera, but do you see where it's slightly darker here, slightly darker here, slightly darker here? When you're looking at it up close, I don't know if this is just me, I look hilarious like this. I don't know if it's just me looking at it up close, but it's easy to become perfectionist about it. But when you oil and then you put your furniture in, you don't see it because it just looks like the depth of the floorboards. It looks like the edges are older, they've been nicked, and it doesn't matter. It kind of can become a bit obsessive, like I have to get every last bit of varnish off when you're like examining it on the floor that close. But the reality is that entire wall here, this entire wall is going to be a sofa. We think, not 100%, we think this will be the piano. There'll be armchair, table. Again, not entirely sure. Maybe an armchair over there. We don't know, but there'll be so much furniture that you won't see it. It is actually wonderful. So I can't concentrate looking like this. It's actually wonderful seeing this room this empty because it feels so much bigger. We're gonna have to put our existing furniture in here that is a bit too big for the room, but it's making me imagine when we have a smaller sofa and then 2 armchairs, how much space we're gonna have. And I may find that we can actually fit maybe a slightly bigger armchair. Like, obviously we measured up the armchairs specifically for this space, and I think it's just gonna feel so much more spacious. Like, we're gonna be able to walk in the room And yeah, I don't know, I'm just looking forward to it. And if I bought those striped armchairs with the intention of using them in here, of course, but if for some reason we find that we do actually have room for a more comfy, proper armchair, then they can live in a bedroom or in the garage or something, and we can get like a bigger armchair. Though that's probably just me being ambitious, because when rooms are empty, they always feel bigger. Oh my gosh, I haven't got my Invisalign in. Okay, I need to go put my Invisalign in, stop chatting. Ooh, Alex is gonna return the machines. I'm gonna go get him to double check that I haven't missed anything. I actually don't want it to look perfect. I know some people will, I mean, I'm sure if a professional was doing it, they might go over it again, because there are a few little nicks and marks, but I want to leave that because I want the floor to look old. I don't want it to look perfect. So I think we're good. I think we're good. Floor is all clean, dusted. Hoover ran out before I could do the shelves, but we're now going to use the Fidelis hard wax oil that we used in the kitchen. It's an antique, and you just paint it on like paint. So I'm probably going to start on, well, it's actually kind of different from the kitchen, isn't it? Yeah. In the kitchen, I could go from one end to the other because it ended up at the slate, but I can't do that because I'll get stuck over there. So I think I have to do, I guess, half and then half. What do you reckon? Or I could do up to the door frame, and then the middle ones. Good evening. I haven't actually picked the camera up for a while. I finished the floors, which maybe I showed you. It's so hectic at the minute, I don't even know what I'm doing. I finished the floors, and the electrician is around this evening. He's fitting the lights. I've just come to Penzance because I'm picking up something from, or two things from Facebook Marketplace. We really need some side tables because, funnily enough, we don't have any side tables for our living room. In our old house we had some stools. We've got these like tiny little stools, but we need something hand tight because it always bothers me and Alex that I don't know why I've never thought about this, but we go to put our drinks down and it's on like a really low stool. So I found this amazing parlour table, like an antique parlour table, which basically pulls out and you can play games on it, and then it also just a vintage side table. So I'm going to go pick them both up and bring them home, and hopefully the lights this evening, whoa, this camera's struggling. Hopefully the lights this evening will be done. The only thing is I think Alex needs to go out and get bulbs because we don't have the right bulbs. And what a productive day, finishing those floors, getting some furniture that we need for the living room. We even got a phone call today telling us when our sofas are arriving in the new year, which is so exciting. And it actually really weirdly, like the universe works in brilliant ways sometimes. It perfectly coincides with when my sister and my brother-in-law are moving house. They're moving into a new home, and the day after is when our sofas arrive, so we can give them our sofas. It just worked so perfectly. Anyway, I must go because I'll be late, so I need to go put this address in and go find these tables. Wait, how are you going to plug it in? I'm absolutely in love with these lights. They are so beautiful. What? You're not enjoying it?
enjoy your silly. Stop. As it goes in.
I reckon you hang it first.
Yeah, I just want to check just so I know which way it is. Ow. Okay.
Stop breathing like that, 'cause you freaked me out. Wow, this is high up. Ooh.
Is that in?
Yeah. We need to get the plastic off.
I thought you were going to get the level or something.
Wait, there's a bit.
How is it? It's not in.
Oh my gosh, how do you aren't I? Let me just try and get these prints I bought. So I got 2 tables on Facebook Marketplace. This is Roxy modelling table number 1. There is a small watermark here that she pointed out, but she said to use like a coloured wax or something. But to be honest, I don't care. So I'm probably just going to put a lamp on that section. But it's a pedestal table, so very traditional, and it's tall, which none of our tables were, which means we can put a lamp on it and have our drinks, and it's big. This though, Alex, come look at this. This is so neat. So this opens up. Hold that side. What you do, you twist it round, and it becomes a games table, which hidden under here you can keep cards or whatever. I don't hold that. I'm not sure what's in here now. Oh, there's some cards. Oh my gosh, there's like vintage cards in here. So yeah, you can store like a few little games in there. Not sure what that is.
Money.
But how cool is this for like at Christmas time? That's why I wanted to get it now, because at Christmas we can play like board games on it, and it's like high enough where everyone can sit at the sofa and like. Do you like it? You're not very impressed.
That's nice. I think.
Sometimes your level of excitement. I think you need to learn to pretend that you're excited just to appease me.
Well.
I especially thought this would excite you because I thought you'd think this is really cool.
Yeah.
It's very gentleman's club.
I'm thinking about all the things I can hide in that little thing. I think it's just been a very long day, but it is very cool.
I thought you'd especially like this. And if we don't put it in our... If we don't end up using it in that living room, it can go in the garage if we end up playing games in there more.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, super cool.
So this...
And I love the wood, so twist it back.
Wait, no.
That way. And look how, without even realising, the wood is like the same. And look at, the coolest part.
Would you do anything with that?
I just said maybe one day, but I think I'll just put a lamp over it for now. But look at the legs. No, Reggie. Look how pretty the legs are. I just thought the details, there's like loads of leaves. Very, very pretty. I do have this ceramic lamp, by the way. All this stuff is stuff that's going to go in the living room and like, whatever, I explained it in another video. This lamp my mum gave me, this little thingy. I did try and find a few lamps on Facebook Marketplace. I think I'm going to order a couple lampshades because I do have lamps upstairs, but I think they're going to look really good in the garage because they're a bit more modern. They're like stone, kind of ceramic-y, more modern ones. And I think that the vibe for the living room is like very old-fashioned. So I did find a few lamps on Facebook Marketplace, which I just need to message them back and then see if I can collect them at some point. And I just need to buy a lampshade or 2. And then we can have some proper lamps in there. But I'm going to say goodnight. And I just am so excited. I didn't actually like react on camera to this epic television. I'll maybe talk to you about it more in the next video when we actually move in properly. But yeah, I didn't even talk about the lights. Okay, I'm just going to show you now. So the lights are in. The bulbs are too big. These require mini lights, mini little bulbs, which Alex has ordered from Toolstation, and he's going to pick them up tomorrow. Because you can see they just poke out the top a little bit. But it's amazing what wall lights can do to a room. Like, they've made the room elevate is the right word. It's elevated the room. Makes it feel a lot better in here. And then the pièce de résistance is this beautiful frame. Works actually a lot better in daytime. On camera right now it's showing up a lot of how it looks like a television, because it looks lit. In the day it does look like a painting, but yeah, just amazing. I got this on Etsy, this print. I'll link it below. If you have a frame, you can order it on Etsy. And I just thought the colours worked insanely beautifully. And I'll also link this frame. This arrived today. Only thing is, I would give her an honest review. It clicks at the top, but the bottom, there's nothing to attach it. Which, considering the price of this, I mean, I'm not that impressed. I'm actually gonna message them tomorrow or ring them tomorrow. Ignore my fingernails. They do have oil underneath them, that's not dirt. I will ring them tomorrow and ask them about this. And also the fact that you can kind of see some of the actual Samsung frame. And there's a more expensive company that does these, and I know it clicks onto that. So you can kind of see the black rim, which kind of defeats the point, because you want it to look like a gold frame rather than having any black. Because you can kind of see a black line around it, which, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you'd think they would actually cut it to the exact size. But yeah, I will message them, because yeah, also this distance, I'm being really pernickety here, but this distance, the bottom, is thicker than this distance at the top. So I just feel like it's not been quite cut the right size. But the point is that it looks like a painting rather than a television, so I don't mind. And I know that some people might think the TV's too large. I kind of agree with you, but Alex chose this television being this size. I know that when I said I wanted the frame, he wanted the 55-inch. I would have got like a 45-inch smaller one.
45-inch doesn't exist.
What does exist? What's the smallest one they do?
32.
I would have got a 32.
It's not 4K.
See what I mean? I don't care about these sorts of things, because I knew that it would be in this living room and I would have got a smaller one, but you know, I chose everything else in this room pretty much. I chose the lights, I chose the paint colour on the bookshelves, I chose the stove, so that's the one thing Alex cares about. Aside from aesthetics, he wanted a big television. Which maybe now we have the garage, he doesn't care about so much, because he'll probably be in there more than this room, but maybe I will care about it when I'm sitting in here watching TV regularly. Also, I do think it looks kind of cool. It's quite satisfying, even though it's massive. It is quite satisfying that it lines up perfectly with the bookshelf. And when we actually viewed the house, they did have a massive painting there, about that size, maybe even bigger. Yeah, they had a huge painting above their fireplace. I remember thinking, that's so cool to have such a big painting there. So, and it might just look massive now because there's nothing else in the room. I think once we've got curtains in, once the curtains are in, the sofas are in, everything's in, I don't think it will look quite so massive anymore. It won't look so in your face and obvious because everything will be in here. That's probably why. But anyway, good night everyone. And we'll see you tomorrow when I'm gonna touch up, oh, it's not focusing. I'll see you tomorrow when I'm gonna go around and touch up all of these edges that I've got oil all over. I'm not doing a second coat on the floor. Did I even show you the end result of the floor? Here it is, looks like the kitchen floor, woohoo. Yeah, I'm not doing a second coat. It doesn't even say you have to. On the box it says maximum 2 coats, so I'm not bothering, especially because we have a ginormous rug, which is gonna cover like 80% of the floor, which some of you probably think is even crazier that I did this floor. Alex is like, why are you gonna do the floor if we're putting a rug down?
Yeah.
Because by the time we put a rug down, and then the sofa's in, the piano's in, everything else is in, you probably won't even be able to see the floor. But I know it's there. Some people will understand this. I know it's done. You know?
Ooh, careful.
I know that it's there and I know that it's done. That's what matters.
I think it's worth it. Yeah.
So we'll put the rug.
I'm in like a daze.
Same. I'm so tired. Good night, everyone. I'm gonna stop talking.